In Kenya, this animal called corruption, tunajaribu kuimaliza. Mimi ni kama msamaria mwema. Job iko aje? Wako job bwana? Kumekuwa na shida mingi, changamoto mingi sana kwa vijana. Sasa unapata kijana ameshikwa na mtu wa kumtetea. Wakiharasiwa na polisi, wakiharasiwa na these gangs. Mtu anawawa kwa makosa ila hajafanya. So ndio nikaamua nikatengeneza network yangu ya kudeal na polisi, kudeal na wakora, kudeal na all sorts of gangs.
I love driving. I love being on the road. I love the drama. I love everything on the road. So I came to the Matatu business because I can get paid every day. And at the same time, I meet new people every day. There is a relationship between the Matatu people and the guys at the stage. I will call them the guys at the stage. I will not call them exactly a gang because it's not all of them. They will give you a guide on the fare. This is the amount we are charging now. To your advantage or to your disadvantage, it depends. If you do not pay up, sometimes it can get ugly because they will say don't work in that route again or get out of that vehicle. Sometimes it can also get physical. So long as you do your part and they do their part, life goes on.
I'm an investigative journalist. For about 20 years or so, I've been doing investigations and deep researches. I realized I'm Kenyan, I live in Kenya, I live in Nairobi, and I have always known that the issue of criminal gangs is a major, major problem in Kenya. But it's so deep-rooted, it's so embedded in our politics and our political economy more than I knew. I think Kenyans just don't know how deep that is. The gangsters control the politics of this country. They control a chunk of the economy. We talk about the Matatu industry. We're talking about the security industry. We're talking about utilities, that's power and water. So many politicians of repute have a criminal gang somewhere. And these gangs do that job for them in terms of campaigning, in terms of even eliminating rivals.
At least 600 people have been killed in riots and ethnic killings following last month's disputed presidential election.
Demonstrations have followed Thursday's presidential rerun, which was boycotted by the opposition. And areas which are opposition strongholds are bearing the brunt of it.
There are many police officers patrolling the area, but many here say they don't feel protected.
The slums of Nairobi, dead bodies of young poor men are turning up on the streets almost every day. The community, experts and insiders say they are executed by the police.
As a young man growing up in this community, life was tough. In the morning, you wake up, no food, you don't know what will happen to you next. what will happen to your family? And you have nowhere to go. Imagine your sister or your brother get killed by the police, no justice. You have no hope. The only brotherhood is joining a gang. At the age of 15, 16, I made up a gang of 12 people, and we call ourselves disciples. First, we were friendly to the people, the community, but eventually it turned out to be a dangerous gang. We started extorting money from the people themselves. And we became powerful that even politicians used to hire us to terrorize other people. I'll be honest here. A young man growing in Kibera cannot own a Matatu. It is the rich people, the rich politicians, or some business people somewhere. They employ the youth to terrorize other business partners. So that's how the gang works. They are being used by outsiders, rich politicians. There's no any other route. It's just purely violence and intimidation. I think there's no any other language that they have.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary published a list of outlawed criminal organizations across the country.
These gangs influence decisions made by voters for fear of being attacked if the politicians behind them lose in elections.
Please don't say politicians. Until you name and shame, we are not moving. And you know what happens in politics? There is a copycat syndrome.
Criminal activity will be met with very firm and decisive action.
I'm a Matatu user, and it seems so soft-spoken, but as a Kenyan, we're losing so much. We're losing so much money into these systems, and there's no accountability. They control even the police officers. They control, if they can control our judiciary, if they can control our security system, and if they can control the common man, it seems like we're bounded by these groups. So we've seen cases of kids as young as 9 involved in very heavily armed gang violence, kidnappings, rape, in worst case scenario, murders.
People don't know that the fares and transport costs in Nairobi and the fares are so high, not because of the demand and supply, it's just because of the gangs. Let's take, for example, from Umoja to Nairobi, it costs about 100 shillings. If you look at the same distance in Dar es Salaam, it was about 30. In Hong Kong, which is a more developed country, it was about half. And it's all because of the chain of gangs or cartels involved in the Matatu industry.
Chairman, habari, uko salama? Hapa hiyo sikubali. Wapi huko? Kayole police station. Nani ako na kesi? Waulize nani ako na kesi, nipige simu hapo sasa shughulikiwe. Sasa chairman. Sasa zile uko na shida, si mimi ndo kuokolea. Wewe ni kuangalia watu kwa society ili watu, kila mtu afita hapo. Lazima tukae na polisi. Lazima mwizi tukae na yeye. Lazima wewe mtu mzuri tukae na yeye. Utaona cha mtema kuni.